I'd like to start out by telling you a story that you already know the ending of. And that's the story of FedEx. 20 years ago, FedEx had a problem, which is that the economics of package delivery are such that if a customer called them even once and talked to a real person and asked, "Where's my package?" FedEx would lose money on that shipment. Now, we know how they solved that problem. They created online package tracking. And today, 6.5 million people will go onto their website to track the status of their packages. All right, well, flashback to 7 years ago, Domino's Pizza had a problem. You see, the operations of pizza delivery are such that if a customer calls even once to say, "Hey, where's my pizza?" it pulls someone out of the kitchen, it ties up a line, it creates all kinds of operational havoc. So Domino's invented Pizza Tracker.
Your order is in the oven and it is hot, hot, hot! Ouch!
I know, right? So innovations like these were invented to reduce customer uncertainty, and that's a good thing. But I'd argue they're doing something even more important, which is that they're showing the work that's going on behind the scenes that creates value for customers. This is an idea that we call operational transparency, showing the work. And we've seen across a broad array of industries, from restaurants to retail, from home mortgages to online dating, that showing the work can lead people to appreciate and value the service more. So why am I talking about this in a great forum for government and a discussion about open data? Well, we're at a period in our country's history where frustration with government is approaching record highs and trust in government is near historic lows. And there's growing evidence that people don't have a full appreciation or understanding of the role that government plays in their lives. And when we think about transparency in government, it often conjures up images like these, of legislators on C-SPAN talking about things that might be done to solve some of our problems. But there's a tenuous link between this process and the processes that create real value on a daily basis in our everyday lives. And so we were curious whether using open data and operational transparency, showing the work that government does, might begin to make a dent in these negative perceptions. So our foray down this path started with an app that was developed by the Boston Mayor's Office of New Urban Mechanics. It's a great app called Citizens Connect. And people in Boston can use this app to report public service problems. They can take pictures with their phone, and it gets submitted right to the city government. And so the city can go and address those problems. Now, this is an amazing app that's created tons and tons of value in the city of Boston. But for a while, this process was relatively closed. People couldn't see what was going on, the work that was being done to create value, until some very enterprising fellows from Code for America came along and created a website called The Daily Brief. Now, The Daily Brief is really neat because it would take all of that information from the Open 311 API, it would array it on a map so that people could see the work that government was engaging in on their behalf. And this was an opportunity for us to test the impact of open data. We brought 125 voting-age people from around the city of Boston into our labs, and we had them interact with a couple different versions of the Daily Brief website. Some saw this blind version of the Daily Brief website, where they just saw a map and a list of the opened yesterday and closed yesterday projects. Others saw a transparent version of the website. In addition to the counts, they saw plotted on the map all of the different things that government was doing to serve the requests of people. And if they clicked on those pins, they could see pictures of the actual work that was being performed. So we asked people a bunch of questions after they interacted with these websites, and we saw a really interesting pattern. Across the board, people who saw the transparent version of the website had much more favorable attitudes towards government. For example, they were way less likely to say that government threatens their personal rights and freedoms. They were way more likely to say that government often does a better job than it's given credit for. And they were even way more likely to say that government's effect on their lives was net positive. We saw this across all the questions that we asked about their attitudes about government. And really interestingly, this extended to their attitudes, their support for government programs. They were much more supportive of government programs when they saw through open data the work that was being performed on their behalf by the government. Just to give you a sense of the effect size here, the effect of operational transparency on support for government programs was equivalent in our experiment to reducing a person's level of conservatism by 20%. Just think about that. So we're really interested and really excited about the potential of operational transparency. It's a great low-cost application of open data. It's been shown to improve resident attitudes and support for government programs, and it has a measurable impact. So if you're interested in learning more about operational transparency or experimenting with it through open data in your own municipalities, I'd love it if you'd reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, I'd love to learn with you, and I'd love to help however I can. Thank you so much.